Welcome to month 6 of Cheshire Quilters Guild 2018 block of the month. This is block 10, Star Pinwheels. The other block this month is Evening Star, so look for that video also. The first thing we need to do for the star pinwheels is to make some half square triangles and with our fabrics A and D. And as you see, I've already drawn my lines on here, so I can just take this to the sewing machine. I'm just going to show you my fabric D, my A and D. I'm going to take this to my sewing machine, sew on the lines, cut, separate, and press. And as we did for block 3, we are going to press the seams open. So I'll see you back there when I have that done. And there you see my 4 fabric AD half square triangles. Next up is to make 4 flying geese units. And I've already started the process. This is with fabrics A and F. My large square of fabric A, and I've got my 2 squares of fabric F laid out. And I've already drawn my stitching line, so I'm going to stitch those and finish up my geese just as we did for block 5. So I'll meet you back here when we get to the next step. So there's our 4 3.5 by 6.5 inch flying geese units. I put them aside with our half square triangles. The next thing we need to do is to take our fabrics A and B squares and cut them in half on both diagonals. So I used a 45-degree line on the side of the triangle, on the side of the square rather, and if it's lined up correctly, it should go through both points, and I can cut in one direction, and then I can just rotate the ruler and line it up in the same way with the 45 along one side of the squares. And now I have 4 triangles of each of fabric A and B. I have 2 squares of fabric F left, and our next step is to also cut them, but this time we're only going to cut on one diagonal so that we get 4 squares of, 4 triangles of fabric F. But just once, and we're done. Okay, so the next thing to do is we want to sew together our fabric B and A triangles, and we want to do them in this orientation with the B's all on the left and the A's on the right. And so we're going to sew these together in pairs in this orientation, and I would orient them this way, and you can turn the fabric A triangle right over, and you've got a nice square edge to feed in to the needle as you stitch them. So I'm going to stitch those, and I'm going to press the seam toward fabric B, which is my darker fabric. See you back here in a couple minutes. Now I think you can see by how I've laid these out what we're going to be doing next. We're going to take our fabric AB's triangles, and we're going to stitch them to our fabric F, and you just need to line it up. Should line up fairly well along the length, make it even along the sides, and then just stitch our 1/4 inch seam. Once we do that, we're going to press the seams toward fabric F and trim these to 3.5 inches. So I'll come back when I've got them trimmed up, and we'll be able to start assembling our block. Now that we have all of the pieces completed, we can start assembling our block. We have the half square triangles in the centers, in the corners. And between them, we will put our flying geese units. Maybe get myself a little more room. There, now you can see the whole block. And the fun begins when we go to put in the final units that we made. I call these combination units, the combination of a half square and a quarter square triangle. And what we do is we rotate each one of them a quarter turn. So I line one up and turn it 90 degrees. And there's our star pinwheels. Now, the only thing left to do before we put the rows together is we need to assemble this 4-patch in the center. So I'm going to do that and press the seams open as I go along, because we're going to get some bulk with all these fabrics coming together at the points. So I'll meet you back here when I have my rows, when I have the block assembled, so you can look at star pinwheels. And there we have it, Block 10 Star Pinwheels of the Cheshire Quilters Guild 2018 Block of the Month. Next up is Block 11 Evening Star, which is also this month's block. And so look for that video. That's another nice, easy one to put together. See you soon.